Hey guys, so I made a video about the worst OC tropes in my opinion, and now I'm doing the same for the best OC tropes in my opinion. For anyone who doesn't know, OC means original character, and an OC trope is a design commonly used for original characters. Just like in the other video, this is all my personal opinions. An OC trope isn't good because I say it is, it's just my own personal take on the character trope. So if you dislike any of these OC tropes, then that's valid. That's your opinion, and you have the right to hate on these OC tropes if you choose to. Just like I did in my worst OC trope video. But for me, I personally love every OC trope in this video, and I'll talk about the reasons on why I love them so much. Anyways, with that all said, let's get into the video. Fandom OCs. Alright, so there are a lot of different fandoms out there, and many artists draw characters for these fandoms. I thought for the sake of this video I'd just group this OC trope into one category, to make things easier. Just think about some of the more common fandoms out there and think about the OCs artists create for them. Pokemon OCs, Warrior Cat OCs, My Little Pony OCs, Sonic OCs, Animal Jam OCs, just to name some examples. I'm not even a part of some of these fandoms I listed, and I still love these OCs. I think it's super cool to create a character from a fandom that you love. I have personally created both Pokemon OCs and Animal Jam OCs in the past, and it's purely from the passion and love I have for these games. I created Pokemon characters for the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon series because I wanted to create my own original characters for that game series. And I created Animal Jam characters so I could create my own story based off the Animal Jam game's lore. It is so much fun to make characters based off a fandom you enjoy, so whenever I see other artists do the same thing for fandoms they like, I can see their passion and creativity for these OCs. And some artists get really creative with what you can do with these characters. I've seen some Pokemon and My Little Pony OCs that just blow me away with how amazing they are. The only con to these OCs is that sometimes they aren't too OC-like and can end up looking like an actual character from the fandom. Hybrid OCs. So, hybrid OCs are pretty common, especially in the furry community. But if you don't know what a hybrid OC is, basically, two or a few animals combined together to create one creature. So like a wolf and a fox, for example. But to be honest, that example isn't super creative. And sometimes that ends up happening with hybrid OCs. Although, with that said, there is a lot of potential with hybrid OCs. Some artists can combine certain animals together to create really unique OCs, as I've seen some very well done hybrid OCs in my days as being an artist. So even though there's some hybrid OC duds, there are also some hybrid OC studs. At least, that's what I think. One hybrid I like in particular is land animals getting combined with sea animals. I find these hybrid OCs usually end up being very interesting with their designs. And I also love seals, as you might know. So when seals are combined with dogs or cats, well, that's just adorable. Overall, I think hybrid OCs can get very creative, just depending on what animals you combine together. Like, the limits are endless for what you can create, and that alone makes these OCs awesome. Plushie OCs. Okay, so I don't know how many people know about plushie OCs, or if it's even known as an OC trope, but if not, I think it should be considered one. These are OCs that are plushies of animals, usually being on the more cutesy side of things, and having more pastel colors. But of course, that's not always the case, it's just a common thing for these characters. I have seen a lot of dog and or dinosaur plushie OCs, which I personally love, because dog and dinosaurs are so cute as plushies, especially when they are pastel, pink, and have the cute core vibes. And technically these OCs are living, despite the fact they are stuffed animals. I mean, it's sorta up to every person if their plushie OC is alive or not, but I like to think most of them are living beings with a conscience. Just because I don't know how it would be a character if it wasn't living. It's more like an item or a prop if it wasn't alive. Either way, I think these OCs are super adorable. I get so happy whenever I see an artist on my feed draw one of these characters. I actually made a plushie OC a while back, and it was a lot of fun to draw. I definitely recommend it if you've never made a plushie OC before. And bonus points if you go against the norm and do make it edgy. Candy-related OCs. So when I say candy-related OCs, I mean anything that has a main focus of candy in the character's design. I've seen a lot of different candy-related OCs in my time. I've seen OCs based off certain kinds of candy, I've seen characters who are made from gummy, typically gummy worms, but sometimes just pure gummy, which gives them a rubbery look. And I've seen this trope used on characters as candy gore, which is basically just gore, but with candy instead, making it less gore-like, if that makes any sense. I absolutely love candy-related OCs, and the fact you can do so much with them makes them super unique. You can go the more cutesy route and make your OC candy-themed, or you can create candy gore characters with gummy worm guts sticking out of their chest. That was a weirdly dark sentence. It's so much fun to incorporate candy in your character's designs, and you can really do whatever suits your preference. Since there's so many kinds of candy out there, you can literally do anything. You can make your character candy corn themed, which gives it a Halloween vibe, gummy themed with bright colors, edgier with black and red licorice, or pastel pink with blues and con candy. Anything goes, as long as it has a main focus of candy included in the design. It just allows for so much creativity in the OC, which I personally love. Self-insert OCs. Alright, so hear me out on this one. I know self-insert characters usually are the worst in media, especially in media that doesn't need self-insert characters. I hate when shows write in unnecessary self-inserts and ruin the whole story, like Velma, for example. Although, self-insert OCs that artists make, simply for fun, are pretty cool, and I can get behind the OC trope. Like when artists make characters based on themselves, or give characters similar experiences they've had, I think self-insert OCs can be a lot of fun. Whether you make it look like yourself, or you make it into an anthro dog that you feel represents you as a character. It doesn't have to look just like you, after all. The whole point of a self-insert OC is that it's based off of you, and that can be in looks or personality. Honestly, if done right, you can make a well-written self-insert OC. You can take personal experiences of yours or traits and put those into your OC. You just need to know how to do it right, to make a compelling OC. But even if you don't write it well, who cares? It's just a fun time making a character based off yourself. I've created self-insert OCs in the past, and I've always had a blast, even if they aren't the best written OCs. So, in the end of the day, self-insert characters are a fun way for artists to put themselves into an OC, and I think that's fine, as long as you're not trying to make it the main character that's basically just a Mary Sue. Before I end the video, I tried to think of a 6th OC trope for this video's list, but honestly, I couldn't really think of any other tropes that I loved. The reason I wanted to do a 6th was because that's how many I did in my worst OC trope video, but I didn't want to force myself to choose one if I didn't feel genuinely passionate about the OC trope. So, an honorable mention would be holiday OCs, being OCs that are based off the holidays, such as Christmas-inspired OCs or Halloween-inspired OCs. But my one big issue with those is that when the holiday is over, they aren't that special anymore. They are hype when it's the season, but after the holiday, they just don't hit the same. And yes, technically you can draw them whenever you want, but let's be honest, after the holiday they aren't nearly as exciting to draw. So yeah, I do think holiday OCs are cool, in particular Christmas OCs, although I couldn't justify putting them on this list for this one reason. So yeah, that wraps up this video. Those are all my favorite OC tropes, and my reasons on why I love them so much. Let me know what you think of each trope down in my comment section. I'd love to hear your guys' opinions. It was nice to be able to make a more positive video about OC tropes, because let's just say I got some rather heated comments in my worst OCs trope video. Honestly, I feel like I overstated the fact it was my opinion in that video, but I guess people are still going to hate my opinions no matter how respectfully I try to say them. Anyways, that's it for this video. Thanks so much for watching. If you watched all the way through, please consider subscribing and or liking the video. It's free and it really helps my channel a ton. Thanks for watching, it's been Leamon, and I'll see you guys all next time.